Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. I'm standing in the rain, but a mere moments ago it was actually sunny, and now it's miserable once more and wet. But you know what? This is supposed to be the final rainy day, big rainy day for the next couple weeks, so I might as well enjoy it in the hopes that we've got sunshine ahead. So this video is a bit of a funny one. I started off with one plan and I ended up doing a bunch of other stuff, and a lot of it was weather dependent, but I got lots of stuff done, including finishing off something at the very end that I think looks absolutely fantastic, and sharing some of Sinead's work, and just a lot of things in the garden and lots of other stuff too. And now I'm gonna go hide inside. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you again at the end. Hi everybody from my bathroom corner, which is coming along nicely, but I still have more to do, and I'd really love to knock a couple more jobs off of my list in this video. The first one will be finishing off the shelves, which basically means putting a backing on there so stuff doesn't fall off, and also staying the shelves. And the second job I'd love to do is getting some more clay onto this wall so that I can not call it done, because this isn't a final layer of plaster. I still need to come by with a fine layer of clay plaster. This is obviously not fine. There's lots of scratch marks in there, and that's basically so the next layer will stick. But if I can get the base layer finished, I'm gonna stick a bathroom mirror on it and call it done for the moment, because the final layer isn't gonna come for a very, very long time. So yeah, let's see if I can get those done. The problem is that I don't have any clay to actually do this job. But the sun is shining, sort of. The rain has stopped, and I feel like there might be some clay down at Sinead's. What do you think, Larry? Do you know where I can get some clay? He does not know where I can get some clay. Coming to Sinead's? Come on, Larry, let's go for a walk. So if you saw my video yesterday, well, if you haven't seen it, you can check it out up here. You'll remember that I went down to Sinead's place. I got an update on her amazingly crazy lake, and I also got a brief update on a hole that she dug to steer some water away from her kitchen area, and she thinks that at the bottom of that hole there might be some clay. She's done some smaller holes around her place looking for clay, but nothing quite as deep as that one, and so we're hopeful that there might be some clay in the land. And since I'm down here anyway to get a bucket, I thought I would check on the polytunnel, and guys, it's not looking good. So the polytunnel is well and truly down now. It looks like this middle piece is completely separated or snapped or something, and yeah, everything is crazy. It is still keeping stuff dry, so you know what? I'm not gonna stress about this yet. It's a problem for another day. It might be more effort than it's worth to try to fix it, but possibly buying a new frame to go underneath the thing, or buying bits and pieces could be a solution. But I feel like going to each broken section and trying to repair it is just going to be a really huge amount of work. And I don't know, with the summer coming and the rain stopping hopefully soon, maybe this is fine for the moment and I can think about something to do later on. So the polytunnel situation is dire, but let's just pretend I didn't see that, and yeah, I'll come back to that another time. So I've got a bucket, and I'm gonna go down to Sinead's place and see if I can poke around in the bottom of that gray water hole that she made, mining for clay. Clay is an amazing thing to build with. I love it. It's my favorite material, but it's not the kind of thing you can go to the hardware store and pick up. So sourcing it can be tricky. I've heard there's a guy in a village somewhere that does massive truckloads of clay. I don't know if the truck would actually get down our track or not. I know of one friend that has had an order of it, so I'll reach out to her and see if I can figure that out. But in the meantime, I've just kind of been scrounging around, asking friends for clay here and there. I'm really tempted to dig some off the side of the road. With all the rain, there's lots of little avalanches of clay off of the banks of the road. I don't know if I'm allowed to go take clay from the back of the side of the road. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it is very tempting when you only need a little bit. I feel like I can get away with just having a bucket of it, so if I can't find any in this little pond, then maybe I'll just go see if I can fill up a bucket from the side of the road. As you can see, it's still crazy windy out here. Fortunately, Sinead's polytunnel has survived a lot better than mine has. But yeah, it's still been crazy, but nothing too bad for us down here. I think we're sheltered by the mountains. So here's the hole. The water is quite full, but I'm hoping I can get in there with a shovel, my wellies, and if nothing else, at least take a sample so I know what I'm dealing with. So in the time it's taken me to locate a shovel, it started sprinkling again, and I feel like it's going to downpour a little bit more soon. So I'm happy to get out here. I'm going to fill this bucket up. I'm going to sit it by the fire and let it dry out and see what it looks like tomorrow. It does seem a little bit squelchy down here at the bottom, so it feels kind of clay-like. My boot is stuck. That's a good sign. So let's see what we got. So I'd say that bucket is enough, but upon feeling it, I'm not entirely sure this is clay. There is a good chance that it's just really wet. So I'll let it dry out and hopefully do some tests tomorrow to see if it's gonna work for me. But before I head back up, I thought I would take a little tour to show you some more of Sinead's garden beds. She's got some awesome things planned. It's gonna be beautiful, and the beds are gonna be filled with, I think, vegetables on this side, and then on the other side, some combination of veggies and flowers, I think, with flowers over the top. It's gonna be amazing. And right now she's sawing some firewood. Hello! Hello. Which I need to do as well. And then she's got another garden bed over here, and I think she's gonna line this fenced area with beds too. So it's gonna be an amazing transformation when she starts getting everything planted. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm very excited to see the progress. But before I head up to my place, I think I actually have some firewood chopping to do as well, because the situation is dire. So I just need a couple more pieces to tide me over to get the fire going. And this small stuff is perfect for that. It's been undercover over there. It's nice and dry, and I think I can probably break most of it. Which is good news, because currently our chainsaw is broken and we've been using the circular saw to cut firewood, which really isn't ideal. It's kind of annoying. But fortunately, the chainsaw is in for repair, and so it should be back in action hopefully Thursday or Friday whenever we go get it. So I'll break what I can, chop what I must, and fill the wheelbarrow up, and yeah, take that and the clay up to the top, back to my house where I have some very fun plans for the evening. But first, let's do the wood the fast way. Okay, done. Let's head up to the house and get cozy before it starts to chuck it down with rain. Okay, the weather has taken a turn. Even though the sky is bright, the rain is coming down really hard, and I'm happy to be inside. And I've got lots of exciting things planned for this evening involving this screen and that wood. But first, I'm not putting the fire on just yet because it's not actually really that cold. And I might not even need it tonight, but I do want to try to dry out this clay. So I'll stick it on a little later on. And my plans for right now are to sit down on my couch in front of the TV where we have Winter Olympics. It's my favorite sporting event. I absolutely love it. I think this is gonna be luge. And who among us doesn't love luge? What a fabulous sport. Two-man luge, questionable. Don't know who invented that one. But luge, very exciting. And I love all the winter sports, especially, obviously, being a Canadian, hockey. And tonight we've got Canada-USA on. So my plans are to park myself in front of my little viewing setup. And I'm gonna be using these tools to chop this wood, or maybe this wood, into some handles for Sinead's bathroom. So Sounds like a pretty good evening to me, watching a bit of sports, chilling out on the couch, and doing a bit of wood carving. So that's my plan. I'm gonna enjoy my water, settle in, and get to a bit of carving a little bit later on. So cheers, go Team Canada. Actually, change of plans. Let's go with curling. We've got a gold medal match between Sweden and USA. I don't understand the rules to this sport, but I love watching it. It's very strange. So a little bit of curling, a little bit of wood carving. Sounds like a fine evening to me. Well, that's disappointing. The internet in this area is not working, and that means no hockey for me, but I did manage to push on a little bit with these handles, and I'm going to refine them and chop them down to size pretty soon. In the meantime, I think I'll probably just read my book, hang out by the fire with the very sketchy looking buckets of clay, and yeah, just enjoy the evening, relax, and probably have an early night. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for probably some more wood carving, definitely some tidying up of my place, and maybe some work on the bathroom. So I'll see you guys then. Good morning, everybody. Check it out. Haven't seen this in a little while. It's the sun. It's beautiful out here, and I'm just so happy that today is going to be dry because I have so many things to do on the land and in the garden, and I'm going to start with putting some plants in the ground after a very long time of them growing into little seedlings. And that's these little guys. I started them in my windowsill ages ago, and they're growing into lovely little plants. So I've got some dinosaur kale, or Tuscan kale, I think it's also called, and I've got some coriander looking pretty good. So let's take these babies down to the garden and get them in the ground. Okay, folks, I'm down in the garden, and the situation is dire. It's more dire, I think, than it's ever been. The weeds are crazy. The water is flowing really quickly. I don't know if you can hear it, and everything is incredibly flooded. So I definitely need to figure out some kind of a solution for actually getting my water to go down the overflow and away. Right now, it must be clogged, or who knows. I haven't actually looked at that in a while. The lilies are looking fabulous. The lemons are finally ripening, so that's great. And I've got a lot of weed pulling in my future. A while ago I planted these broad beans, and this is pretty much the only thing in the garden that's looking like it's having success, although I do have lots of garlic action happening. They're looking good. I've got garlic in lots of beds, and I forgot about the carrots, so I've actually thinned some of them over there. They're looking okay, but we've got kind of a carrot forest happening over here. So let's get rid of that weed there. So maybe I'll try to give the carrots a little bit of attention, thin them out. Although I gotta say, they're looking pretty good. They seem to be growing to an okay size, even though they're all very close together. So maybe I'll leave those for today and monitor the situation. More garlic over here, and I have one lonely lupin. So I planted loads of these things and none of them took. I think they got munched by snails. But this one, she's small, but she's a survivor. My chives are springing back to life. They were looking pretty bad for a while. And my plan for right now is to get the coriander into the ground, really anywhere. And the kale, I want to think about that a bit more because kale is something that just keeps on giving. This plant has been here for probably years, so I want to put it in a place where I'm not going to want to move it in the future. Plus, probably about 3 weeks ago, I got some strawberries from a friend. That's, I think, chard, and this lettuce. And I basically just left it in this bucket. So I'll try to get the strawberries in the ground as well. And do some weeding, maybe. I definitely want to cover this bed up with cardboard. And then I have straw over there as well. I want to give the lime tree a prune. And I want to get, yeah, a little bit of organization going. Make the place look a lot less scary. So my first order of the day, I'm going to get this compost and these poo pellets onto this triangle bed here, plant some plants, cover it up with straw and cardboard, and I'll do the same over here as well. So I'm out here while the sun is sort of shining, and let's see what I can get done. And just an update from yesterday, the internet doesn't go down often. It's usually fairly slow and kind of frustrating, but it doesn't usually go down completely, so that was unusual, but I guess it was to do with storms and just the crappy weather, and lots of other people struggled with it as well. But you know what? I don't think I wanted to see that hockey game anyway. Canada got annihilated, 5-0, and ain't nobody needs to see that. So it was probably for the best. And yeah, let's hope that the girls can pull it out when it matters. That was just a round-robin game, and I know they've got a lot of pressure on their shoulders. So I'll be watching later, and hopefully the internet will cooperate. Alright, so as usual, I've got my horse poo pellets. These things are just little nuggets of horsey grossness, and I mix them in with the store-bought compost. My compost isn't something that I put a lot of effort into. I sort of just stick it in a pile, and then when the summer comes around, I have a big pile of it to use. So it's not ready just yet. I don't think it is anyways. And so for the moment, I'm buying the store-bought stuff, which isn't ideal, but yeah, I haven't actually set up the infrastructure and focused on the information I need in order to do sort of a hot compost properly to speed it along so that I have compost year-round. So this is my solution for the moment. Not ideal, but you do what you gotta do. She's heavy. So let's tuck you in nicely, little lupin. I don't know what this is going to look like when it's fully grown. I don't know if it's going to die before it gets to grow to full height. Who knows, but it's looking pretty happy there. So I'll let you stay. And then we've got the chives that are kind of buried over here. Okay, I'm going to put those in a minute, but first, I have some cardboard, and I gotta say, I love it when friends buy fridges and other large items because it means that I can swoop in and get the glorious, glorious cardboard, which is great for keeping the weeds down. Oh, it's disintegrating before my eyes. It's great for keeping the weeds down, and as you can see, that is definitely a problem. I need some kind of a solution for the paths. Eventually, this garden's gonna be like super cool and stone paths and really well manicured. And hopefully there won't be soil in the path. Hopefully it'll be, I don't know, bricks or calçada, which is a Portuguese type of little stone, or something like that. I haven't decided yet, but that is definitely a long way off. First, I want to have a house that's a little bit more livable before I start focusing too much on the intricacies and the details of the garden. All right, so gonna put some cardboard down, and then we're gonna get those in the ground, cover it all up in straw. Meow. Hello. Fancy meeting you here. Okay guys, I'm gonna keep planting this. I've got a lot of work ahead of me today. This is where I'm at right now, and I'll see you soon when everything is planted. And hopefully this guy doesn't dig it all up. Okay, the straw is on. Some of the plants are looking a little lost, but I'm hoping that they find their way. And I put straw over here as well, but I gotta say, I'm questioning the wisdom of adding the straw at this stage. And that's because it's been crazy windy lately, and I'm sort of scared that it's just gonna blow away into the ether. But that's okay, because this straw has been sitting in the back of my polytunnel for ages, and I just want to get rid of it because the polytunnel definitely needs another clean. And so better on the garden beds than annoying me in the polytunnel. That's what I always say. So stage 1 of Operation Garden Rescue is complete. It's looking mighty fine as long as you just focus on the straw parts and ignore the rest of the chaos in here. My hands are suitably dirty. I loved having them in the soil. I loved getting back into the garden, and I'm gonna tackle some more of it after I have a sandwich, have a coffee, have a little break. And so I'll see you soon for some more work in the chaos garden. Okay guys, I'm back. The sun is still out, just barely. I've had a sandwich, I'm feeling energetic, and that's a good thing because I have a lot of madness to tackle, and I'm gonna try to get through as much of it as I can today before I get tired. So who knows what I'll be able to do. But one thing I do know is that I want to do things as quickly as possible because I have so much on my plate. So the snap is coming out. All right, the comfrey has definitely seen better days. I'm hoping it perks up again once things get a little drier. But the bed is looking a lot better than it was. Evidence of what I pulled out is right here. And now let's do the same thing for this guy. All right, another bed is done. It's been very satisfying, a little hard on the back, but it's lovely when you uncover surprise strawberries, surprise chives. These have been buried for a very long time. I thought it was dead and gone, but it lives on. There's a little remnant of strawberry there, and unfortunately I accidentally pulled out some spinach, but I never actually ate it anyway, so it's fine. We've got a fully grown kale that's looking wonderful up here. Less wonderful down there. And yeah, it's just been quite satisfying, I gotta say. So, we're gonna keep the snap going. Let's empty this wheelbarrow. It's like magic. If only it was like that in real life. So I've definitely gone a little bit snapping crazy. This bed looks like a fine candidate for another snap. She's looking glorious, nice and clean. I've gotten rid of all the weeds. Something that's looking a lot less glorious is all these various chili plants that I have. I don't think any of them are jalapenos, but they are a variety of chilies that were wonderful, provided really well for me. And I really think I should have covered them up over the winter. In previous years, I haven't had to, but this year we had, well, a pretty crazy winter, very wet, and most importantly for their survival, there was a frost, and it was a little icy down here, which I've never seen before. So they're quite resilient. Some of them will surprise me and spring back to life, but I don't know, they're looking pretty sad. So we'll have to wait and see. And I'm gonna do one more bed, but first, let's get rid of this. So it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. The sun is starting to go down, and I don't think it's gonna make an appearance tomorrow. My back is sore. My energy levels are low, but I would really love to liberate this glorious grapefruit tree from this weedy disaster. So that's gonna be my last garden job for the day. And of course, I'm gonna do it one more time with the snap. Okay, much better. This comfrey, as with the comfrey around my lime, is looking very, very sad. But the grapefruit tree is looking okay. I'm gonna come back and have a whole day of pruning with as many trees as I can get through. I like to batch my jobs, and today I just got focused on the weeding. I was hoping to get to some of the pruning, but never did. So let's get rid of this. Okay, I'm too tired for you. You can stay. And so I'm gonna call it a night on work in the garden, but I still have firewood to chop, and then I'm gonna clean myself up, head inside, and see if I can figure out how to watch the Olympics while also editing videos. It could be tough, but where there's a will, there's a way. So it's been a super productive day. I'm really surprised that I powered through so much with the weeding. I was expecting to kind of only do these 2 garden beds with the straw, and I just got carried away. I just got snap happy, and everything went a bit crazy. But I feel so good to have these beds done. So happy to be out in the elements again after hiding inside the house for so long. It's nice to get dirty. It's nice to get sweaty and gross and feel like I'm actually working hard for a change, because carpentry while sitting on your couch isn't exactly the most strenuous activity going. So things are looking good. Still a lot more to do, but I'm gonna say goodbye from tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow, where we're gonna check on the clay to see if it actually is clay, and hopefully I'll get Sinead's bathroom door handles attached as well. Another beautiful day in Central Portugal. I'm gonna give that a nope and go back to bed. Okay, that's more like it. Definitely worth getting out of bed for. And I've actually been out of bed for quite a while. It's late afternoon by now, and I've been spending a lot of time in the house with the cats, watching the Olympics and enjoying it immensely, sitting in front of the fire, and working on these door handles. And these handles are the finishing touch for the door that I made for Sinead's bathroom probably a couple of months ago, I think, by now. And it's the last thing to go on. I'm gonna get them on there, I'm gonna stain them, and I think it's gonna look really cool. I've got it all ready to go, and it's been a very fun project. They're made out of olive wood, and yeah, it's just a lovely wood to carve, and I have enjoyed this project thoroughly. Even though it's not what I was planning on working on, I was gonna work on the shelves for my bathroom, but it just is a little difficult to do that job from the comfort of my couch because of the space needed for working with some longer pieces of wood. So I'm gonna save that for now. Probably later today I'll get started on that because the sun is shining, and the sun is expected to shine for the next couple of weeks with a couple of short rainy spells in between. So I don't trust the weather forecast usually, but I'm gonna be hopeful because as you can see, things have just gotten ridiculous and I have a full-on stream flowing through my bottom terrace. But the sun is shining now and I've got a lot of interesting projects ahead, especially my crack shack slash tool shed that's gonna be really fun to work on. But Sinead's actually been braving the elements pretty well and she's pushed ahead on her garden bed. So this I think is gonna be an area for chickens and she's gonna have a solid fence connecting between the garden beds, some raised garden beds with vegetables and flowers and things like that. And she's been really hard at work. She's got all these ones over here and then a whole bunch more over here by the polytunnel, including a few around the back as well. So it's really exciting to see how much progress she's made despite the insane weather that we've been having. So I'm gonna take us around the back, past her accidental pond, under an olive tree without bonking my head, and over to her bathroom. Okay, so I've got two handles. They should fit nice and flat on the door, which, believe me, took a lot of struggle to get to that point. And I feel like the one on the outside is gonna go on a little bit more easily than the one on the inside just because of space and the way the door is made. So, I don't know, which one do I like better? Kind of like the bigger one on the outside. And the smaller one on the inside probably facing that direction, just because of how the door closes on this side. It needs some space. So somewhere around there could be good, but I'll deal with this one in a minute. Let's start with this one. Okay, so I've done lots of prep on these pieces already. They're sanded, they're nice and smooth, and I haven't stained it just yet because I want to check with Sinead first. She's obviously got a lovely light brown stain on this, and I was thinking about doing this with linseed oil, which is just going to bring out the colors of the olive wood. I'm pretty sure she'd be happy with that, but as it's her door, I thought I'd check with her first. So it'll go on without any stain, and the final step will be putting some sort of stain on it of Sinead's choice. So let's get it on, maybe about there, and hopefully it goes on without any hassles. Oops. Okay, screw number 2, and perhaps you'll notice that I've drilled in a little bit here. My intention was originally to sink the screws a bit and then use dowels to completely cover up the screws, but these pieces of wood are too small for such things, so I decided just to use some black screws, and I think it'll look nice. All right, that seems good. Definite improvement. On to the next one. I think round about there should do, or maybe I'll match it up in the height. Yeah, that looks good to me. All right. Done. So I love it. These things are on really nicely. I think it looks great. It just adds kind of a rustic element to the already rustic shower and toilet room. And you know what? A door needs a handle, so I'm pleased. I think it's not a bad effort for my very first door. I like the cork thing I did on the inside as well, and it's possibly a design that I might repeat in the future. I'll have to go back and watch the old videos to see what I actually did to achieve that, but yeah. Close up and call the door done. So the bathroom handles were kind of a surprise job that I threw in just because it was raining so much, and I didn't actually get to the stuff I wanted to work on, which was continuing work on the bathroom shelves and trying to see if I had clay to do the bathroom wall. So I'm not going to get to the shelves or the wall in this video, but one last thing I do want to do is revisit those buckets that I have sitting on the floor of my house and get my hands in there and see if it's just soil or if it could be clay. So let's head back up to the house and get dirty. So I can't believe it. I thought the sun was coming out. I thought we were done with the rain. I thought that was the last of it, guys, but it's just started coming down reasonably hard once more. So hopefully this is the last day of this, because I gotta say I'm a little bit over it. Even though it was nice to see a little bit of the sun today, and obviously to get down in the garden for a little bit, so I'm not gonna complain too much, but I'm definitely done with all this water and ready for some sunshine. Hi, little guy. You have the right idea. He's been here most of the day. All right, let's get my hands in that stuff and see what it feels like. So it's been about 2 minutes since last I filmed. This guy is still here being cozy and lovely, but there's been a pretty big change in a very small amount of time, and that's this. It's the sun, and after that very brief rain shower, the sun is streaming in a big way. It looks beautiful, and it's even nicer outside. I gotta say, this weather has been absolutely insane, but I guess it keeps life interesting, you know? So let's take these messy buckets of clay outside and see what we got. So I've been calling this stuff clay, but I don't think it is. However, you can't tell by looking at it. I've got to get my hands in there and see what I'm dealing with. So, fingers crossed, I've got something I can work with. I don't know. I think it's pretty silty. It's really hard to tell. What I got in this one? These are basically from the same hole, but different areas of said hole. And yeah, there might be some clay content in this, but you can see it's quite slumpy. And the color of it, the smell, can you tell by smell? I can't. Maybe somebody out there can. So the short answer is I don't know if this is clay or not. And usually I can tell by feel, just from experience. And the color is weird. The clay around here is usually more of a red. But then when I get in there, that sort of feels like clay. So short answer, I have no idea what's in these buckets. Well, I do. It's dirt, soil of some kind, but I'm not going to risk building with it, because the part that I want to build behind on the bathroom wall, it's going to tie into the bed frame, and I want to make sure I have very strong clay there so it holds everything together. So I'm not going to mess around with this stuff on the wall. I'll just go dump it in the garden and let it live its life outside of my house. So it is very satisfying playing with dirt, and I feel like it could work for certain projects, but I'm not going to risk it this time around. I think I might just go get a bucket, a small bucket, from the side of the road from one of those areas where the clay has fallen down in the rains. Whether I'm allowed to do that, I don't know, but it's just one bucket, and that's all I really need to finish this off. Okay, so it's nice getting dirty. I love it. And I guess I'm just going to call it quits on this video, because it's been a long one. I've done lots of stuff, and I feel like it's been a good one, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Getting dirty in random buckets of non-clay, getting dirty in the garden, finishing some stuff down at Sinead's, and checking in on her as well. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like down there. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.